Hey, it's Jeff Cannata with an NLB Mini. Just got back from a press screening for A Million Ways to Die in the West, the new Western comedy from Seth McFarlane of Family Guy and Ted fame. And it stars a whole bunch of fun people like Charlize Theron, Liam Neeson, Giovanni Ribisi, a bunch of horses. This is a Western, and of course, any Western comedy, you're going to start thinking about Blazing Saddles. And I would say, actually, that A Million Ways to Die in the West is very much a throwback to that kind of comedy. It was much more reminiscent to me of movies like Airplane or Mel Brooks comedies. A lot of slapstick, a lot of gags, a lot of jokey jokes. It's a very self-referential, self-aware kind of movie. I guess that's what you get when you get a Seth MacFarlane film. Just like Family Guy and really all the stuff that he writes or is a part of as a creative force is those shows, those pieces of comedy are very self-aware. You know, you'll get the character commenting on himself. And in A Million Ways to Die in the West, you have a guy in the Wild West in the 1880s going, "It sucks living in the 1880s," very anachronistically, talking in a very colloquial, modern American vernacular, and commenting on how crappy it is living in the West, a perspective that only someone who is actually born now might have. So, you know, it's got that sort of, what is going on here, kind of one character stepping out and commenting on the proceedings. And this is really the first movie that Seth MacFarlane has starred in that he wasn't just a voice of something else. This is his starring vehicle. He's the main character. He's just playing himself, just doing his own voice. And for the most part, I liked him. I think he is a little bit winky to the audience, and just his style of humor, I feel like he's often commenting on what is happening rather than living in it. But for the most part, I enjoyed his performance. I thought the movie was relatively funny. I had some big laughs. The most joyous aspect of the comedy really is the central motif of A Million Ways to Die in the West. The idea that that yes, this is a terribly bleak environment that is out to kill you most of the time, and you can die in a myriad ways. And when those things happen and everything seems to be ready to kill people, that's what I enjoyed the most. I referenced Blazing Saddles. I thought, as I watched this, how far we've come. Blazing Saddles, of course, was the first movie to ever show a fart on screen. And here it is, not that long later, and there's a lot of gastrointestinal humor in A Million Ways to Die in the West. So how far we've come in Western comedies. I mean, there's a lot of crass humor. There's a lot of the whole subplot with Giovanni Ribisi and Sarah Silverman. I could probably have just gone without it. It didn't really add much, and most of the jokes were pretty obvious to my mind. But you know, I had some chuckles. I had some larger laughs, and one of my gripes with comedies these days, or really any days, is when they sort of get mired in fulfilling the plot, in sort of prancing their way through the three-act structure and giving you exactly what you need. This is a movie that it has jokey joke, and then when we're dealing with the characters that sort of aren't in on the joke, like the bad guys or some of the other residents of the Western town, those characters, it plays it for real. It plays it really dry and really real. And it tries to have it both ways. And we're there to laugh and just give us more jokes. I mean, I much preferred a situation like in Neighbors this summer, which I raved about on this very YouTube channel, if you want to check that review out. I don't think this movie hits the highs of comedic prowess as Neighbors. I had much more fun watching that and laughing, but I also feel like from a plot perspective, Neighbors did a much better job of fulfilling its duties there and not feeling like it was prancing through its three-act structure and hitting all the marks that it needed to hit. It had much more interesting things to say and a much more unexpected journey than this movie, which has a very predictable journey. And it feels a little tired when it hits all those beats that it needs to hit. But, you know, if you're a big fan of Seth MacFarlane, if you like his humor, there's some really wonderful Family Guy-esque cutaways and characters from other movies that end up in this movie, which is pretty brilliant. Some wonderful cameos that happened. Some really fun, ridiculous, like, why is that actor even there? So, I think there's going to be some people that enjoy this movie a lot more than I did. I liked it. I just I don't think it's worth a full evening price ticket. If you really want to go laugh and you really like Seth MacFarlane, you probably will have a good time. But I think if you're choosing a comedy, at least thus far in the summer, 22 Jump Street's right around the corner, so I'm hopeful for that. But up to this point, if you have only one comedy to see this summer, it would be Neighbors, with this being second place. But thanks for watching. I hope I'm not second place on your YouTube subscription list, and I hope you continue watching NLB all next week and this one. Got lots more coming. All right, thanks a lot for watching.